goes all fuzzy. Okay, we are live. Look at this. Look at this fuzzy mess. What is that? Oh, the joys of the awkward stage of hair growth. Okay. You guys, I just literally got out of the bath and my hair is like a fuzzy mess. Look at this. Ooh. And then back here, it's all starting to curl. So, like, all under is starting to curl. So I'm getting like all these like curly bits. So hopefully it stays like, hopefully it starts to really, like this area here will start to curl. So I've been trying to tame it, but it's getting a lot more volume in it. It's all good though. But you guys, there's so much to do. So much to do. So much so that I got overwhelmed earlier and just stopped. But yeah, so I decided I needed to just take a step back. I've got a blazing headache. And it's definitely from not, I slept really wrong last night. Like, whoa. I was reading on my phone. Big mistake. I should have been reading on my e-ink reader. But I was reading on my phone and at some point fell asleep while I was reading. I've never done that in my life, but I wasn't reading anything like awesome. I wasn't reading like a book. I was reading some articles on some, I guess you'd say on like animal stuff. But so Gracie, as you guys know, Gracie is our disabled cat that we took in. She's a special needs kitty. And wow, she gave us a good scare. About roughly, it's been just over a week now. We already know, like I've told you guys about Gracie. If you guys have been following a little while, we got Gracie just before Christmas. We got Gracie just before Christmas of 2020. And she's a special needs kitty. She was severely injured by some sick people. So she needed a home where she would have all the benefits of being what we call a grounded cat. So she is a grounded cat. So what that means, if people don't understand what that means, is Gracie can't jump. She tries to climb, but climbing is an absolute no-no for her. Because if she climbs, then that means she's got to jump to get back down, which is detrimental to her hind end. Though we have a feeling that while in the cat room with Binks, Binks likes to pick on her. And Binks is up for adoption, by the way. So Binks is our foster. We thought that they had already finalized adoptions and stuff like that, but they hadn't. So he's still under Saint fostering. So he is up officially now for full adoption. And we have Severus, who's also won't be up for adoption until he gets neutered on Friday. And then he will be available on the site for adoption as well. But Gracie was in the cat room. And she usually is really good about not going on the cat tower. She kind of just stays like on the first 2 rings of it, because she can stand up and pull herself up onto the one level. But Binks had gotten to chasing her and picking on her like he does. And she tried to get up and away from him, and she got too far up on it. And so when she tried to get away, she jumped down and injured her back end again. I think it kind of just was too much of a drop down for her. And within a 2-day window, she went from just limping, which she's always got a limp, by the way. She's got permanent damage to her left back hip. So she got to really limping, really bad. And then in 2 days' time, she went from limping to not being able to use her back legs, like not being able to stand on them at all. So she gave us a really good scare. We scheduled her in. She went all the way to Vegas to like a veterinary orthopedic. And they did x-rays and scans and everything and found that, yes, her left hip is screwed. Okay. But her right side, which is the side that has been pretty much her go-to, like that's her relying side. That's the side she relies on to get around. She has hip dysplasia. I didn't know that there was hip dysplasia like in cats. I knew about it in dogs. I wasn't well informed about how it is about cats, but cats can get it. So I did was doing research last night when I fell asleep. So I fell asleep wrong and my neck was sitting, I was in a chair. Don't fall asleep sitting up in a chair, by the way, guys. Go figure that I would sleep for a solid 6 hours in a chair. Can't even sleep a solid hour in a bed, but I fell asleep sitting up in a chair last night and slept 6 hours straight. Smart. So anyway, so she has hip dysplasia of the right hip. The left hip, we're not sure yet. The doctor put her on medicine, and she started the meds. Let's see, she went to the vet on Monday. So she's been on the meds since Monday because he gave her the dosing there. And so now today is Saturday. So she's been on it for 6 days, 6 days on the meds. And in 2 days time, like the first day, she was just not like, she was doing the same thing, scooting around, trying to kick her back legs. Cause she can move her legs, by the way. So if anybody's wondering, she can move them, she can kick them, she can squirm with them. She was dragging herself on her tummy and like pushing with her back legs back and forth. And then she got to where she would pull herself forward, but then flip her back and forth to get herself where she wanted to go. All in just like a few days time, she figured that she could do that. But the next day, after coming back from the vet, we gave her medicine. I got home that night and checked on her, and she was sitting up like a normal cat. Before, like for the past week, she hadn't been. She'd just been laying down. But she was sitting up. So I was like, holy gosh, she's sitting up. Then the next day, I woke up that morning and she was doing the one leg hop thing because her left leg still wasn't cooperating, which it's never going to. It's not going to ever be like a full weight bearing leg. So she was seriously limping, like she was still falling over. Then by Wednesday, she was using both legs, but her severe limp is still there. And now she's to where she is walking again with her big limp, but she's not dropping to the floor every time she takes a step on her left. So she is doing really good. We're, like I said, 6 days in. And now she's starting to try to climb again. She is right here in the room with me, by the way. She is being kept vet's orders in a very restricted environment. He does not want her having anything that she can get, like the little things she's got in there right now, her little fishy hole, she can use that and sit on top of that because it doesn't require a jump down. She just, walks up and down it. So she's allowed to have that. The vet said that's fine. But nothing else. She cannot. And this thing is nice and tall. We got the really tall gate that comes to my waist because it's made for large breed dog enclosure. So that one we're using, the vet said that's great because she can't get out of that. She can't jump anyway, so she won't be able to climb out. As much as she wants to try, she can't. But he wants her to stay very restricted right now. So that's what we're doing. And so she gave us a good scare, but she is walking at this point. And the vet will see her in 2 more weeks because he wants her to finish the entire set of medication. And so she's got another 14 days on it. And once she finishes the whole round of meds, then he's going to reevaluate. And we will make a decision about that left leg once the reevaluation is done. Now that she's back up and walking, we'll be able to really see. We sent him video showing him how she's walking, but that left leg is just, it's so bad, you guys. Watching her walk on it and seeing that every time she puts weight to that left side and watching the thing just shift out and dislocate each and every time she takes a step on that leg, I know is painful. It's got to be painful. But she is on pain meds and on anti-inflammatories, which is what we're treating her with right now. but she's finally on her feet again, which is a huge deal. So the good part is she's not crippled, so she can get around again, which we were terrified that she was going to lose all mobility in her back end. But the vet's very secure in that this will work. Get her on the meds, get her working on that leg again, on her right leg again, and then make a decision about that left leg. So he has two options with the left leg. He's going to reevaluate, of course, now once she's done with the round of medication and looks at the picture without all the swelling and all the bruising from when she jumped. So they're going to reevaluate. Two options are, one, we can just amputate the leg and let her heal up and let her strengthen her right leg and rely on her right leg. Or we can put her through a major surgery that will put pins and everything else in that left hip and try to reconstruct it and hope for the best, which could still end up resulting in an amputation. But he'll make that decision in 2 weeks when she goes back to reevaluate and make a solid, like, what's going to be best for Gracie. So that's where we're at right now. But she'll never be able to jump. Like, she can't jump up onto things. She should not be jumping down off of things if she climbs up. So we have to really like restrict like what access she has to things. So when you have a disabled animal or a special needs animal like Gracie, you have to really watch them. And she's super content. She loves to play and stuff like that, but we're kind of having to really like tame it down right now because she is recovering. But then we have, and I'm going to ask you guys because I'm at a loss. I've been doing this for years, fostering for years, and doing rescue work and bottle feeding and stuff like that for years, for over 20 years. So here's the thing. I have never in my life, never had a male cat. We know it's a male, by the way. He's going to get neutered on Friday. I've never had a male cat yowl like a female in season. Okay, so if you've ever had cats, you know exactly what a female cat sounds like when she's in heat, when she has not been fixed. It is the most obnoxious sound when they are calling for a mate. It's loud. It's repetitive. It is nonstop. And so Severus, the male cat that we are fostering right now, is a yowler. Like, he yowls like a female in season. I sent a video to Donna the other day of him, and she said, "They're sure that's a male?" And I'm like, it's a male. Like, you cannot mistake that he's a male cat. Okay. Like, there's a very obvious thing that goes on in male cats on the back end that is very obviously male. So if you've ever owned a male animal, such as a dog or a cat, they're, I guess this is the proper term, so I'll use this. Their testicles are huge when they're unaltered, especially on male cats, especially a maturing male cat, which he is. So I have fostered many a cats, okay, even at Subby's age. And I have never heard a male cat do what he does. It is so loud. And he does it all night long. And we have found that when we have him lay next to us at night, as long as you're petting him, he doesn't do it. The minute you stop petting him, he will start to yowl. He will bite at your face. He wants you to keep petting him. He wants you to keep touching him. And if you stop, he gets upset with you. And then he will continue to yowl right at you. Like, he'll sit right next to you and do it. And it's so loud. So we, of course, have now had to resort to putting him into the cat room at night. Which I'm so sorry, neighbors, because we do have the one window in there. Like, the windows are cracked because the windows are able to slide like this. So on either end, the windows are open just enough. Keeps circulation going in that room because there are litter boxes and whatnot in the cat room. and it keeps airflow. You want ventilation when you have litter. And so I'm so sorry to our neighbors who are about 20 yards or a little over 20 yards away from that side of the house, because I know he's extremely loud. And Sarah and I have been sleeping to this side of the house to kind of avoid the obnoxiousness that is Sebi. So he gets neutered on Friday, and I don't know how we're supposed to word. We're hoping. Okay, first of all, let's put it this way. Let's hope that when he gets neutered, that the behavior that he's doing stops. Maybe it's a young male cat thing. I don't like that. I've never experienced before. I don't know. If you guys have ever had a male cat do this, please tell me. Because like I said, in the 20 years that I've done this, I've only ever heard a female do that while in season. So we are like, Sarah and I both are like, what do we do? What do we do for him? I don't know if maybe he's also doing it out of pure like anxiety. Maybe. I mean, the only family he's ever known was the gentleman that brought him to us, who reached out to Saint for a foster for him because he can't have the cat where he's at. And he brought Sebi home to him, to his home, when he was just a baby. And so he's had him for 7 months, and that's all Sebi's known, is him and his 2 boys. And now he's in a new environment. But he said that Sebi was doing the same thing over there, was the constant yowling at night when everybody was trying to go to sleep. So I'm hoping that the neuter corrects that issue, but we don't know. So we'll see. And then we all have to figure out, if he's still continuing to do it, how to word his adoption posting, because he's going to need to be with somebody who's going to be willing to give him some seriously undivided attention. Maybe even somebody who can take him wherever they go. Like that cat would be so happy to be on a leash and go wherever the heck you are going. He is like, he wants to be right next to someone. So yeah, we'll see. And he's super affectionate, super sweet. And just, he wants you to just hold him and cuddle him and love him. He's super, super sweet and loving. And so I think he'll make a great cat for somebody. He just needs someone who's going to be super attentive and right on top of it. So I don't know, but you guys tell me, please, if anybody's experienced a male cat who does that, because I am at a loss. But yeah. And then anybody who might come in, who might be wondering, Sarah's doing good. Morning sickness has kicked in with some brute force. So she has definitely been feeling the symptoms. So she's actually laying down, resting right now. She is out in the living room. But yeah, she's definitely feeling the symptoms of this pregnancy. So yeah, she's a trooper though, you guys. She's a serious trooper. I give her so many props. She's been poked and prodded this past week, and she's a trooper. So she's got some more stuff going on this week. And then we should know Friday she'll have her like in office visit and ultrasound scheduled. Because there's nothing they can really do until after 6 weeks. Because you can't see anything on ultrasound usually until after 6 weeks anyway. Like the most you'll see before that is like the sac or the gestational sac or whatever. But if you really want to see like the little bean in there with the fluttering of the heart, you got to wait till after 6 weeks. So it would be pointless to go in and do anything other than what she's doing now, which is blood work, keeping track of numbers. And that's it. That's pretty much what her doctor's doing now, is keeping track of numbers and her symptoms and stuff. So she's doing fantastic. So Yeah. So now it's just like a waiting, like the waiting game of anxiety that is through the roof. Um, and you guys have been amazing, by the way. Your comments in the comment section and stuff have been so kind and so amazing and super heartwarming for her. And I love that. I love that you guys have been so good to her, and supportive. And I'm excited about that. So this thing is taking ages to charge. But you guys, what do you think of this color? Like, Sarah picked this out. I asked her because she wants me to make her a little pouch things for the clay figures that she has. So I'm going to do that. But then with the rest of this, I think I'm going to make either a blanket, or my thought was making Sarah a personalized like Moby wrap type thing. So I think I might make her like a personalized styled wrap that she can have for carrying this little bean around when they're here, once they're born. So I think I might do that. I think it'd be really awesome to have something like that personalized and that she can have for this little human. This stuff is so soft and so silky. Yeah, I think it would be great. We'll see how it comes out first. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I was looking at it earlier and I was like, I think that would be a great idea to do that. This is but we don't want that. We want the one from the center because that's the best way to do this. But yeah, so there was just so much to do. I was looking at like our living room setup. We want to, like Sarah's room right now, she has like the side she was going to have like the baby crib on, and then she has her bed in there, and then she has like her workstation. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to take her entire workstation out of her bedroom. And we are going to put her work area, like her whole work setup, her desk and everything, is going to go in what's the dining room. We're actually going to redo that entire space to be her office space, seeing as that she does all her work stuff from home. So we're going to give her that entire area. We don't use a dining room like ever. We never have. And so it would just make sense to give her that space so that it's strictly for her to do her work. And then this way, her bedroom, we're going to actually give her this bed, the one that I'm sitting on here. We're going to put this bed in her room. It's the bigger one. It's the queen. And I don't sleep in a bed anyway. I just can't. As much as I want to, and I want to be able to lay down and stretch out, I can't sleep when I'm in a bed. So we're going to give her this. We'll put the smaller double bed in here. And that way, just because, aesthetics, there's a bed in the bedroom. But we're going to give her this one. And then we're going to she ordered this, or she's picked out this gorgeous crib, which of course we won't get until she's further along. But we're going to move the smaller one that she had purchased that came in completely damaged, broken and everything. So got that refunded back. It's completely damaged. There's no way to send it back. It is it's many pieces are broken. Wouldn't trust, like she said, she wouldn't trust, even after we got it together and I did some glue bits and stuff like that on wood. There's no way that we would trust putting a baby in that crib because there's just too many broken parts on it. So we're going to actually repaint it and secure it and stuff like that, and then we'll put it in here to put like the dolls in. So she'll have like a place for like all her doll stuff. She doesn't want them like all in her room. She's going to wrap them up. But I just told her we'll put it in here, and then we can set them in there, and they can look really nice in that one little spot. So that'll just happen for that. But yeah, for her, we need to, what do you call it? She's going to order that crib once she gets further along. So her room will get all set up for that, because we do have the cat room, and her room is decent size, and she doesn't really sleep in there often. She likes preferring to sleep on the couch, which is, our couch, by the way, is so comfy. I even fell asleep in my cushy chair out there. So yeah, don't do that, guys. Don't fall asleep sitting up. It's not good for you. It's really bad on your neck. Which I did. But this is so annoying. Could you get long enough so you can tuck back there? But my hair is really fuzzy right now. Look at this. This is how thick my hair is. Like, gosh. And my color is so weird. You guys, this color is so weird. Like, it's not blonde, but it's not brown. It's kind of like I was telling Sarah the other day when I was standing in the bathroom and looking at in the light. I was like, it looks almost like I'm doing good, Angel. How are you? Kind of like, when you have blonde hair and then you go swimming in a swimming pool and it kind of gets that funky green tinge in the light. Like on here, it doesn't look that way. But in the light in the bathroom, I was like, it literally looks like I went swimming too much. But this is just my natural color, you guys. This is all my natural look. And I'm doing that, hair is falling out. Yeah. So I just recently trimmed it again, but it's growing in fast. So, which I'm happy about. But I'm also now getting to the conclusion after the last couple of times that I've fallen asleep incorrectly that more than likely the pain that I kept getting in this side right here, which is still right now, which is leading to me getting a headache because it's pain right here from the way I slept. So the headache keeps coming up into here. And I think I'm going to attribute it to not my hair length. So I can probably start like letting my hair just grow back out. Wondering what to do for dinner. Yeah, see, I made a big, huge thing of chicken and veggie soup the other day. So we have chicken and veggie soup that I can heat up and eat tonight because it is perfect, especially with some sriracha in it. Oh my gosh, it made it just perfect. I made it so that Sarah had because she's craving salts. She wants salty stuff. She's been really craving like salty flavored things with salt in it. She went and bought herself some salt and vinegar chips the other day because she just wanted that salt flavor. So I made the soup because it was with chicken and veggie stuff like that. It's just like a chicken soup. So it's got that naturally saltier taste to it. So she had some of that last night. And so we've got a nice good batch of that. I made a 6-quart crock pot of it. So I'm probably going to take some of it, put it in baggies and throw it in the freezer. So that way, whenever she just wants some, she can just pull a baggie out, dump it into a bowl and heat it. But yeah, so it's kind of where we're at right now. And oh my goodness, she's so cute. She's sleeping inside of her big fish. So she's so freaking cute, you guys. But yeah, I've got so much I still need to do. And I just don't know. Oh, I'm so like, I don't know. I need to take this table in here apart and take all my computer stuff down. I have not used my computer setup since we moved down here. I think I sat at that computer and streamed twice since we moved in here. And right now with my schedule and stuff like that, it's just literally not getting any use. And yeah, I'm not using it while home because I'm right now been caught up with everything else and getting other stuff done. And so I need to get that taken apart. And then the biggest thing is that I really do need to get these shelves completely pulled apart. I was going to repurpose these shelves into a desk, but when I started taking these apart, they started falling apart. So this is the worst, like how much I paid for these, because I ordered these on Amazon. They were like $80 a shelf, which I know is not expensive for the most part. But when you get something for $80, you expect it to at least be halfway decent, like at least a little decent. These are absolute garbage. We didn't even have them that long. I had them set up when we lived in the other house. I had first built them, and I noticed that they were slightly off when we first built them because I had mentioned it when I first put them together and tried to stand them up against the wall. And I mentioned the fact that they weren't straight up and down like they're supposed to be. And that when you put the things on there that they, like their holes that were drilled into it, it made the shelf sit slightly tilted. So I had to like readjust some things. And then I had to like wood glue and hold some things together that just so it would line up. But this stuff is made of like that cork board, I guess would be the right word. It is not wood shelves. They are cork board, which is like wood shavings, hard pressed together. So the little twist things, like they have like these, what's the word I'm looking for? Pegs. They have these pegs that go in, and then you put the peg in and you screw it down, and then it's just this peg sticking up. And then when you put the other thing on top, like when you put the other shelf on top, right? So it slides into the thing like this. And then on this side, on the next shelf, is this little weird locking thing that you're supposed to turn. The way that they drilled the holes and the locking piece, it doesn't line up with the peg. So when you turn it, it doesn't turn all the way like it's supposed to. So then the thing keeps popping apart. And because the holes were too wide, the things don't stay in. So it caused it to just completely dissolve and fall apart from just the rubbing and moving of it. So I started trying to pull the one apart so I could take the side panels and measure them to see about putting some wood glue and wood screws through. And the first wood screw that I tried to put in it just, the wood stuff just started to crumble away. And I was like, well, that's not going to work. Even if I had wood glue in there and the nail in and the wood glue and nail dried together, the wood is falling apart. So I'm just going to have to, sadly, just tear these apart and throw them away, and not be able to repurpose them, because you can't. I mean, they're literally just crumbling apart. I've now got wood shaving stuff all over my floor on this side, where I tried to take the first one apart and it made an absolute mess. So there's that. So I'm going to just take that apart and throw it away and chalk it up as a loss of $160 in shelving. And yeah. And then just look at a proper small desk. I just need something small that's going to hold just my all-in-one. My desktop that I have, it doesn't have Wi-Fi capability. There's no Wi-Fi card in it. There's no slot for it. There's no way to put Wi-Fi on it. There are things I guess you can buy that are like Bluetooth, not Bluetooth, but what do you call it? USB, ones that are Wi-Fi, but those are not reliable. And so I think what I'm gonna do is just clear that little desktop off. It's like a little mini HP. So I'm gonna clean that out, completely move all the files off of it onto a hard drive, an external hard drive, and then wipe it and reset it, and then just sell it to somebody for like $50. It's a good computer, but I don't want to be tethered into the wall with it. So I want to be able to put it anywhere in the house that I choose without having to need the router box right up against it. So for now, we'll just stick with the all-in-one and just sell the other one. And what I'll do is sell the other one with the monitor, and then whoever buys it will need to get themselves like speakers and stuff, because it doesn't have speakers. The monitor doesn't have speakers. It's just a plain PC monitor. So yeah, we're going to end up doing that. My all-in-one is great for like with editing and stuff, because it's got all my editing software on it. And that's kind of all I need. I don't really need the other one. And then of course I have my laptop, which this goes everywhere with me. I take this to work and stuff because I am writing on it. So yeah, and also I'm hoping that when we do this cleanup in here and we move some things, I can figure out a better place for this Wi-Fi box, because for some reason it's almost like it's in a blind spot. With where it's sitting, the Wi-Fi just won't reach into Sarah's room properly. It keeps cutting in and out, but yet it works great here and in the living room. But once you get past the living room, it's almost like something's blocking it. So we need to like relocate it into a more open path. We shall see. It's too bad that we couldn't put it like in the living room, which would have put it central in the house, and then it would have reached side to side. But there's no like outside access to that area because of the big built-in patio and the enclosure. You can't run anything down along the house because it's all walled in, which would mean we'd have to drill something in the side of the outdoor patio, which would not make sense. So we couldn't do that. But our hope is, you guys, that we can be in our own house, like owned, like own it, mine, like don't pay rent to somebody, just pay the mortgage on it. We know we won't be able to get moved until at least February. I've already went and looked at a property that I really, really like. I've mentioned it several times. We're still waiting on an answer of whether or not they are willing to do the change out for gas to electric. If they can just do the conversion, which is actually not a lot of money, we would include it in the offer, right? So we gave them, like, we know what their asking price is. We offered more than their asking price and then some, because we added in what it would cost to do the conversion and then some for the effort for them to do it. So they're going to be like, what we offered is way more than their asking price, like well over. And they still haven't answered back yet. So I don't know what's happening. And I've gone on to look and see, is that house still available? Or have they said they've sold it? Or is it still on the market? It's still available. It's still on the market. It's still being shown. So don't know yet. But I would hope that they would want to do it. If they can do the conversion, then we would have a house and be able to move by February, which would be after Christmas, but before the little one is here. And it would be the perfect fit for us as a family. And I've told you guys, it has like a full set together, like 1-bedroom apartment on the property. And if it works out, we may have Taylor move into there if he doesn't already have a place. But here's the problem with that. Where the house is would make it a very long travel for Taylor to go to work until he gets a car anyway. And so being that I work out of town, my drive if we get that house, my drive would be 1 hour and 10 minutes instead of 2 hours, which is great. And then Taylor's drive, if he was going from the house to work, would be just over 55 minutes. So 1 hour for him to go to work. So he would need to definitely get a car. Unless somebody out there in that area works at the same place he does in the same shift, he could carpool until he gets his car. But we won't know until we get an answer. And the cool part is that apartment thing that's on the property, I'm going to call it a casita because that's pretty much what it is. But the casita is got its own entrance, like to the property. So you've got like the garage and stuff that you can pull into and park for the main house. And then there is a driveway that goes along the side of the house that goes to the back to the casita. And it has a carport. So he could pull up to the carport on that side. And he has entrance to the casita. And it doesn't interfere with the backyard, which is where we can have the dog door for the dogs to go in and out and everything. And the cool part is because of how many rooms it has, the one room is perfect for adding a catio to the back. And so then we could have that main room back there for the cats with a catio built out in the one enclosed area. And I think that would be perfect for them. Like you guys, if we could get this property, which our luck never sits on our side. So I don't think it'll happen as much as I would love to have that location. They've been taking an awful long time to answer. I even recently wrote a letter and we'll see if we can get that over to them and let them read like our story and see what they decide. Maybe they will. And maybe they won't, but if they don't want to do the conversion, we may just have to kind of deal with that for a while and do the conversion ourselves down the road. Though I absolutely hate having gas appliances. I have gas here. We're actually doing propane here, and I can't stand it. One, it reeks. Propane reeks when you fire it up. Anytime we start up the stove or the oven, it reeks. When you do the same thing during the winter and you fire up the heater, propane just has a very distinct smell. And I mean, so does natural gas, but usually when you're cooking with natural gas in your house, you don't smell it unless there's a leak. But with propane, you smell it when you're cooking with it. It's a very distinct smell. You smell it when you grill with propane. You smell it when you cook with propane. It's a very distinct scent. And I don't like it. So we'll see. We'll see. But other than that, you guys, yeah, just so much here to do. And I want to get this place finished. Like, there's so much still to do in this house because it's my grandparents' property. And I really just want to get a lot of these things done so that when we move out, it will be available and ready for someone to rent it through my pop without a bunch of issues. Because if these things are still wrong with it and he tries to rent it this way, it could be trouble for him. And I don't want that to happen. We want to find what needs to be repaired now, as well as we're slowly cleaning the property up. You can only do so much each week with what we can fit into the trash cans and the dumpsters. Out here, it's so freaking expensive to get a big dumpster here just so we can get rid of some of this stuff. But that's the biggest thing, is getting it cleared up enough so that it's clean. But yeah, so I need to present to him about moving the stuff out of the little single car garage and putting it into the patio section. We have a big area of the patio section that I have already completely cleared out. We can move that stuff from the garage to the patio section. We can park the car in the garage, which would make things so much nicer for us, because right now it sucks when we have to go somewhere because it's sitting outside in 120-degree heat. And when you try to go out and get in the car after it's been sitting outside, it's impossible to drive it. You can't grab the steering wheel. You can't, like, the seatbelt touching you. You can feel it burn you through your clothes. So I'd love to get it parked in the garage. And there's only a few things sitting inside the garage that would be easy to move. Like, they're so easy to move from where they're sitting right now. And so all I'd need to do is just get them into the enclosed patio. And if we can do that, we'd have the garage for us to use. And yeah. So, and Grandpa said the same thing. Grandpa said, tell him to have you move the stuff to the patio. And we'll see. Because Grandpa thinks that we should be able to park the car in the garage. It would be a nice change for us to be able to just park it where it should be parked during the day. But we shall see. But otherwise, you guys, yeah, I want to help get this place in good working order. So a lot of things, like, we got to patch all the holes in the walls, like all the little spots, and then paint, which will be a really big one, is painting. Take the fans down, the blades down, clean everything, put them back up. I still have yet to figure out why the two bulbs on here are yellow. I don't get it. We've even moved them, and it's still, like, those two on that side, they turn yellow when you turn them on, but they're all the same bulb. So how did two turn yellow and two turn white? I don't know. From the same packet, by the way. So it's not like they're two different types of bulbs. The bathroom. The master bathroom needs to be painted so badly, you guys. Oh my God. It's 3 different colors: green, blue, and yellow. And the paint job that whoever did it did such a bad job painting it that it's not even evenly painted. Like, it's just smeared into the roof and the ceiling, and So it needs quite a bit of work. The kitchen, I think if I get the kitchen cabinetry area painted, leaving, of course, Grandpa's cabinets, the doors alone, because they're beautiful, get all that painted up. It'll be brighter and prettier and cleaner, crisper looking. That's going to be the biggest thing, getting all of that painted. I think it'll make it look much, much better in here. I want to get like the lower cabinets a darker color, but the upper cabinets need to just be like the outer base of them. Like the cabinet shell needs to be like a white with the walls. And then the lower ones, we can pick like a color that'll complement the tiling that Grandpa laid, even though the tiling should just be ripped up. I don't know what I'm whispering for, but it really should. The tiling, they laid the tiling in here over the top of the existing floor. And here's the funny part. You guys ready for this? I don't know if you guys have seen any of the other like videos that I'm gonna keep laughing, but the videos that we've done out here in the living room is just random tiles, right? Like just random. They don't match. They're not like the bedroom tile is all one tile. Bathroom in this one, all one type of tile. The bathroom tiles in here are some of the ones that are out in the dining room / living room / family room, because there's 3 different rooms in that space, right? So you've got like the dining room, living room, family room. So you've got, anyway, and hallway. Those tiles and my bathroom tile and Sarah's bathroom tile are all kind of, no, even her bathroom tile is different. Her bathroom tile is different than her bedroom tile. Her bedroom tile is different from my bedroom tile. And what we used to call the TV room when Grandpa and them lived here is now the cat room. The tile in there is different. It's kind of a funky orange. But the ones in the living room / dining room / family room, in the big living space, let's put it that way, is also different than the kitchen. So, sorry, that was really rude. I just belched. But in the big family space is a multitude of different tiles. So you've got the same ones that are in my bathroom make up the majority of the floor in the family room. And then there's these random mosaic tiles. Then there's these random animal tiles, I guess. Happy greetings and best wishes to you and the family from Joseph. Hi, Joseph. So there's like this random array of just whatever was left over tiles just placed around. Here's the kicker though. We noticed this recently when we had to break several tiles in the kitchen to get the dishwasher out, because when they laid the tile, they didn't attribute to raising the countertops to raise everything up. So they blocked the dishwasher in. So when it needed repair, when the line broke and they needed repair, we had to break the tiles in front of the dishwasher. Now we have no tile in front of the dishwasher, but this gap, right? Like there's this gap. And we realized when we took the tiling out, when they broke the tile there, there's this much of from the floor to the old existing floor, like the old floor. So they just laid like this stuff in between and then put tile down on top of the already existing flooring, which means that they raised the flooring in the entire house by about this much. You wouldn't think that makes a difference, but it does, because we also have ceiling fans in the house. Now, one of the things we are going to fix with the ceiling fans in the rooms is the length of the rod that for the distance between the ceiling and the fan, right? So they've got the rods in there. You can get the ones that are shorter so that the fan is pretty much up against the thing. Whereas right now, the one like in the cat room, the thing is this long. So when you walk in there, I'm only 5 foot. When I walk in there, if I put my hand even slightly like this above my head, I will hit the fan because it's that close to my head. So if you are over 5 foot 6, like Sarah has to really like tuck her head down or she will get hit by the fan blades when the fan is on. And the light bulbs, like they're right here above my head. So we need to, one, cut the power in the house and pull those down and take the rod out and readjust for the length of space between the rod and the ceiling. So, or the fan blades on the ceiling, so we can bring it closer and up away from our heads. Same thing with Sarah's room. We need to raise the fan up. Same thing in here. We need to raise the fan up. Because otherwise, like when we're getting dressed, if you go to take your shirt off and you're anywhere near the fan and your arm comes above your head, you get smacked by the fan blades. Because they raised the floor. Now, even with the floor, if we were to remove the flooring in here back to the original flooring, the fan blades, because they're put in after the house was built, the fans, of course, still would need to be raised up because they are definitely sitting they're sitting too low for the space. So that needs to be done. The other thing that needs to be done is when they set these in, they could have hardwired them to the light switches to each room. They did not. They just wired them individually. And so you have to walk through the entire dark room to come in to turn on the light. Now, what I've done, because I'm a smart ass, I got a standing lamp in my room and sat it into the corner over here and plugged it into the light switch or to the switch that's connected to the light switch. Because back in the day, you had a light switch that turned on your bedside lights, right? So you would have lamps that were plugged into the bedside light or bedside. You'd had lamps on your bedside. And so when you walked into your room, you would just flip on the light switch and those would come on either side of your bed. So that's kind of what this is. Like it's an old place. That's how it's wired. So one socket in each room is connected to the light switch. They should have, if they'd done it correctly, they should have spliced it out from the one wall socket. But they didn't. They just hardwired it into the regular electricity. And so that's another like, eesh. Don't think that would work though. I don't know if we could even get somebody out here electrician wise to get them to hardwire it to the correct thing. I don't know. Blessed butterfly on wheels. Hello, hello. I'm going to stretch my leg out. But so yeah, that's where we're kind of at. I just want to get a few things done. There's so much. I've just got a list now. I've just been writing this list out of the things I want to get done in here. So little by little, we're doing them on my days off and just trying to bust some of this stuff out. I did get quite a few things thrown away. I still got a few more things left to finish. It just feels like I wrote in the title on this, there's just so much to do, you guys. There's so much to do that I think when I sat down trying to look at everything I wanted to get done, I got overwhelmed and was like, I don't even know where to start. And I got really overwhelmed. I think what I need to do more than anything else is just do one space at a time. So I think next weekend, I need to not think about anything else other than like get that outside, like the family room done. That's where we spend all of our time. That's where we spend the majority of our time. And so if I can get that space done next weekend, not focus on anything else, just clear that entire space out, get the living room organized like I want it, get the dining room, which will now become Sarah's office space, completely done so that she has a very dedicated workspace away from like her comfort space, so she doesn't need to have her workspace in her bedroom, which is going to also be pretty much the nursery with a bed in it. That's kind of what we've gone with. She's going to do pretty much her room will become a big nursery theme and it will have a queen bed in it. Once she's figured out her nursery theme, then we will order sheets and bed stuff that's going to complement her nursery for the queen bed. if that makes any sense. And then, of course, as the little one gets older, we will definitely be moved by then, and they will absolutely have their own bedroom. Um, but for the first year, anyway, the baby will probably be sleeping in the same room with Sarah. So that way she can nurse and have the baby right there. And I already know her because of everything she's already been through and whatnot. She's going to definitely be very, 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 very close watching on her baby. She's doing really good. Blessed Butterfly, what can I call you other than blessed? So she's going to be, like she said, she's going to be like a helicopter parent in the beginning, because she's going to be super, super protective and very, very attached, which she already is. Like we talk with this, we call it baby bug. So with baby bug, she's definitely very attached. We don't know, of course, what the sex of the baby is. It doesn't matter what the sex of the baby is. It really doesn't. We just are so, just be a sticky baby. Just stay put, grow strong and healthy so that she can have this beautiful little bug in her arms in April. Tiffany, I know I'm there's so many of you now that I'm still trying to place people's, icons with names. So sorry if I forgot. I'm sorry. Gosh, I need to repaint my nails. And I think I did break this one. Did I break it, or is that it's just the way it's growing, huh? No, I did break it. Dang it. And that one was my really pretty long one too. Look at, because my nails are super healthy and they get long, as you guys can see. Like, these are my natural nails, by the way. So my natural nails are like long. Other than my thumbs, I broke my thumbnails yesterday moving stuff. But I just broke this one a minute ago. Sorry, I'm not going to flip you guys off, but I just broke that one right there. So I'm going to have to file this. I don't ever rip my nails off if they break. I've taken and I file it. So I will file that down to where the break is. I'm so bummed out that it broke. Dang it. That was such a good looking nail too. As you can see, I keep them filed and healthy. Like, I'm really big about it. I just took a shower, so they're like super clean and really, like, I have really healthy nails, you guys. But yeah, my natural nails are really healthy and long. Wish my hair would grow that fast. My nails, I have to file these all the time. I don't know how long I've been with you versus the other Tiffany. Yeah, the other Tiffany, her name just says Tiffany. That's Tiffany Kimley. She's been with us a long time. And she just recently became a mama. And we're so happy for her because she tried for a very long time and finally has successfully had a beautiful little baby girl. But yeah, so if you guys have been with us a while, by the way, let me address this real quick because I got so many messages. I didn't think this would throw people. We deleted a ton of videos. I went in and spent a few hours on Wednesday and deleted a bunch of videos on our YouTube channel. So if you notice that there's a bunch of videos missing, that was on purpose. Sarah and I were talking, and she said, "Mom, every time people make comments on the videos," and this is the truth, you guys, every time people make any comments on any of our videos, it's always the videos from 2014. So 7 years ago now, from when Sarah was having massive seizures, before we knew what was going on with her, before we knew like how to fix it and what was happening, before she had a full diagnosis. Like, there's some pretty scary videos on there. And then all of her Phoenix Children's videos from when she was in the hospital, several of the videos from when she had big seizures that were caught while we were in the middle of doing stuff, things like that. Those were the videos that were being watched the most, which most people would leave that stuff on there, right? Because it's getting your channel all these big views. I'm not worried about that. what I was worried about was, like Sarah had said, Mom, people don't know me for me. They don't know me for just being Sarah and for being this amazing human. She is. She's an amazing freaking human. People know her as the girl from, like, people that are in school that knew her in school go by Tiffy. Oh, okay. Awesome. So I'll remember. So blessed is Tiffy. So hello, Tiffy. And so people that knew her from school, when they see her around town now, they're like, aren't you the seizure girl? She hates that. You guys, she absolutely hates that. And when anybody comes in to chat, like when we do a live stream, and let's say the only thing that they caught, because now that they've hit subscribe to us because they saw a video of her during one of her big seizures, then they come into a live stream because they hit the subscribe button, they see we're live. They want to go in straight into, how is Sarah? I have seizures too. It's all about, it never is about just Sarah as a human being. It's always about the seizures and the seizure recovery and the diagnosis and what that meant for her and how did she handle seizures, or what should they do about their seizures? And nothing wrong with wanting to know like how we handled things or whatnot and giving some education. But if you are someone who is also having experiences like that, or you're having medical issues, we are not the ones to ask those questions of. It's your doctor. We're not doctors, and everybody's different. And what Sarah has gone through is different than what other people have gone through. Sarah doesn't want to be known for just a medical condition. She's a human. She's a person. She's got more to her than what was going on with her medically. She's done amazing in her recovery. She's come through everything. She is over a year seizure free. And so she's doing fantastic. And as of now, we are stepping forward and moving forward. She's moving forward in life and growing her family. And she's more than just that. So we made the decision to take everything down that had to do with her epilepsy and the process. And when she first started having issues, we took all of it down because it got to a point where that is all people focused on the channel. So when I would go through like our analytics and look at like, what type of videos do we want to do? What kind of things do we want to talk about? Everything that was being watched was only the seizure content. And so I said, no, absolutely not. This was Life with the Jays, and now is Life's Next Step. We are past the things that have happened and the things that she's going. Yes, Sarah is still an epileptic patient. Sarah is still somebody who has epilepsy. Her epilepsy is under control, and it's controlled, and she's doing amazing and fantastic. So Sarah is Sarah. Sarah is Sarah who has epilepsy. Sarah is not epilepsy, and epilepsy is not Sarah. So we're going past that. Yeah, exactly. Right, exactly, Laura. Exactly. And it made sense at this point to just remove it all. Take it all down. Oh, you didn't have to take that off of there. You could leave that there, Laura. It was fine. And so, yeah, that's exactly it. Like, she's Sarah. She's a human being who is one of the funniest people you'll ever meet and whatnot. I mean, oh my gosh, we were sitting in the parking lot the other day. Oops. We were sitting in the parking lot the other day waiting for her paperwork to come over to the lab so she could go get her next set of blood work done. And we're sitting out there, and she's playing with the dang Snapchat filters. I think it was Snapchat, or it was either Snapchat or Instagram filters. I think it was Snapchat. And she was playing with them, and she found one, and like tears. We were laughing so frigging hard because she is the best character. Sarah has a way of when she gets to laughing, it's so absolutely contagious. You can't help but get to laughing too. And when she really gets her belly laugh going, it's a done deal. You're toast because you're done for. If you had to do a try not to laugh challenge and it had to do with watching Sarah get the giggles at something, you would totally fail because you can't help but laugh with her. So yeah, she would do you in. Oh, I know, right? She's such like she's the best human in the world. She has some of the best interactions with people and she's super funny. Like super funny. And I don't even want to tell you guys when you get her and Taylor together, when the two of them go on a goofy binge and they're in the same room together during one of those goofy binges. Oh my God. I'm talking like you better have a diaper on. You're going to pee yourself from laughter. They are so flipping funny together when they get going. Um, Taylor has a more dark sense of humor, and Sarah has a very bubbly, um, like a very bubbly, hysterical sense of humor. So she can find the humor in just about anything. Taylor has a very, like I said, he's got a very dark or drier type humor. And when he gets going, it's yeah, you're done for. So having the two of them get together when they are both in a really goofy mood is it like I can't. I will be like in stitches with laughter listening to the two of them, and especially when Taylor gets her going. When Taylor gets her going, it's a done deal. That's what people don't understand. Exactly, Tiffy. That's exactly it. And so I kept getting messages. I think I got like 18, 19 messages the other day. People were like, excuse me, but I think YouTube deleted a bunch of your videos. And I'm like, no, I did that. And then I got another person was like, hey, you know, you're missing some videos. And I'm like, no, that was me. Uh, so exactly. A diagnosis is what you have, not who you are. Exactly. So with talking with Sarah, we made the decision and I said, well, you know what? We'll take them all down. We will get rid of them. I know that there was when things first started happening, Sarah wanted people to understand. She wanted some information for herself as well. She wanted to know like other people, like so that other people knew they weren't alone and that she wanted to know she wasn't alone. And so she wanted to openly share those videos. And that's the thing is I got a lot of flack for that kind of stuff. And it was never posted without her permission, by the way. Yes, I did film her when she was not in a state to authorize me filming her. But she was asked prior to when she first started having seizures. And I talked to her. I said, her doctor had asked me, if you can catch it on camera, do. So when it happened and we caught it on camera, I talked to Sarah. Then after that happened, I talked to Sarah even further and said, if you have any more while we're in the middle of filming the vlogs, do you want me to continue filming you? She said, I want to see what happens when I'm in that. So I filmed her when she would go into those because she wanted to be able to see that footage back for herself. She wanted to see what was happening to her body when she wasn't in control of it. Never did I post a video, not once, that was not first run past her. She was shown the video footage prior to, and she chose what was allowed to be posted. There's some footage that we filmed that you guys will never see, that were terrifyingly heartbreaking, and it was so hard for us to see it that there was no way we were sharing it with anybody else. Absolutely, Laura. And that's the thing is that was the reason why we shared what we shared when we shared it. And then it took on a life of its own. And that's the part we didn't intend. And that's the part that Sarah is not comfortable with, was that it was meant to be educational and a way for people to like understand something, that they weren't alone and that she wasn't alone. But then people took it a whole nother direction, and it became this whole thing where it didn't matter what we did for the day. Like we could post a video of us, like we went to Oatman and had an amazing time in Oatman. Like that whole day, Sarah and I had an absolute blast up there. Like we spent the whole day there. It is literally one of my favorite videos I've ever filmed, was when Sarah and I went to Oatman. And we filmed this amazing video. It's a beautiful montage styled video, beautiful music to go with it. Shows you all the amazing things we did up there. And all the comments on that video had nothing to do with that video. Every comment was somebody asking a question about Sarah's medical condition. And so frustrating. It was so frustrating to see that, not only for me, it's on the channel. It was just, yeah, it was one of those things where we were just like, are you kidding? Hold on 1 second, Laura, and let me see if I can find it, and then I will post it in the chat right here. Gosh dang it, thing. Don't do that. Let me go grab that video. Go to here. Channel. Videos. Let's see here. Let's see. Let's go to this, and then that way I can back it up. Let's see if I can find it just by scrolling. I took so many videos off, so give me 1 second. I'm going to find that video, and then what I'll do is post the link to it right here in the chat, and then you can follow the link. Wow. I still have a ton of videos, though. Let's see here. It should be easy to find because I know exactly what the thumbnail looks like. Ooh, I'm making myself nauseous scrolling. I swear I'm having like sympathetic freaking issues here because I am so stupidly nauseous. I think though it's just from my period. Let's just be friggin' honest. My period is really just wreaking havoc on me today. I'm so super nauseous from it. The pain is in my lower back, so it is just kicking my butt. Come on, where are you? I didn't realize it was that far down. Oh my God. I was so sunburned. Yeah. Oh, that was a good one. Where's mine and Sarah's date? We called it our date. We went a whole day in Oatman. It was such a fun, like we had so much fun going. We need to go again. Sarah and I need to go up there again. Maybe we can go up there on like my next day off on Thursday, because Taylor also has Thursday off. Maybe we can drag Taylor with us up there. Oh yeah, and Sarah and I were talking about the funny part about like the whole RV thing, and people gave us a hard time about the whole RV thing. We've been looking for an RV since like 2015. So, oh, it's in Arizona. It's here in AZ. It's just like 45 minutes drive from where we live. Oh yeah, we have some beautiful videos from the river out here. Yeah, we live right on the Colorado River, so it's beautiful. Did I pass it? I had to have passed it. I didn't think it was this far down. But no, I had a bunch of people when we first got Barb, when I first bought Barbara, we had a bunch of people give us a real ton of like crap about how we were copying other people. But if you go back in our videos, we started RV hunting in 2015. Well before any of the other YouTubers that we actually watched at that time, before any of them even looked at RVs, before any of them even were thinking about RVing, or doing any kind of RV travel. We had actually started RV hunting back in 2015. So I just find it super funny that people made this huge, nasty deal at us when we first bought Barbara. Because we'd already been there. Oh, there it is. Found it. So if you want to see this video of whatnot, so let's take this, copy the link. Now go to my channel. We have us we're live right now. This is going to be funny. Hold on. Nope, go away thing. we're going to put this right here. Paste. So this one is the Oatman. If you guys want to check this out. Trip. Okay. Come on. There it goes. So if you guys want to watch that video from when we went to Oatman, does that even matter? People are weird. People just be kind of, yeah, exactly. Right? I just thought it was so weird that people got so like offended that we decided that we bought an RV. And Barbara, of course, and I'm glad we did, because wow, did we buy that thing in the nick of time? Because here's the kicker. One, we never got to do the renovations fully that we had intended. It was supposed to be stretched out. And that didn't happen. We ended up having to, oh no, I knew it was going to happen because I moved it. It ended up being that we had to do like emergency, like quick fix type issue thing just to get it livable, because of the whole thing that happened with the city doing their January budget and deciding that our homes for the veterans program that we were part of were being sold off. And they sold all 6 of those houses that were part of the program that we were a part of. We lived in that house for 4 years. We lived in that house. We moved into it in 2016, had to move out in 2020. So 4 years of our life, like every time we drive by, I'm going to get emotional. Every time we drive by there now, and every time we go that way, Sarah and I just go, we miss our home. Like, we miss our house. And was it a big house? Absolutely not. Was it perfect? Far from it. But was it home? Hell yeah. We did so many things there. Like, that house had so many things that we loved about it. When they decided to sell it off, I already had been pre-approved for our loan for buying a house. No, I haven't. I have not, Laura. And so we were like, can we just buy it? Like, we're already here. But they had already sold them before telling us that they were selling them. And here's the kicker about it. When we first got into the house, when you got married in 2015, nice. When we first got into the house, we asked whether or not the properties would be available to the veteran who were living in it for us to buy, right? So would we be able, part of the program, be able to buy the house we were already in? And we were told at that time, no. So I went through the process of, doing like the program that they said. And then we went to the house buying program classes that they put you in as part of the program, right? To help you buy a house. That's the whole point of the program, was so that you could buy a house. And so we did the entire program. And then we were left in our homes that we were in, right? So we had to wait for the houses that were going to be part of the program to be offered up. And then we would be able to do the whole home buyers process. So 2 of the houses came up within the city that were going to be part of that program, yada, yada, yada. However, one of the houses was way out of our approved price range, so we couldn't do that one. And the other one was too small, right? So it was definitely more for like a single veteran, not with somebody with kids. So that one was too small. So those 2 houses were not on our list. So the veterans that bought those were already out of the, because those 6 houses get rotated, right? So we were in one of those 6 houses. So at year 4, Instead of being like, hey, look, the city is going to no longer do the program because we are going to be readjusting the budget in 2020. We're going to offer the homes that the veterans are already in if they want to buy it. They never even presented that to us. Never. We were never even told that the program might be getting nixed in 2020. Nothing. None of us were made aware of it. We had just signed our new contract in January. Like, if you guys have been here for that whole time, you would have seen the video when we talked about it. I was so frustrated. We just signed our lease for the house in January. And then we got told in February, not even 2 weeks later. And a whole lot happened in that first 2 weeks of February, by the way. So January, we signed our lease, found out my grandma passed away. This is their house. And then right after that, our dog Penny, who we took in, got to have her for 5 weeks. Beautiful girl. Should never have been put through what she was put through, had to be put down. We got to give her the absolute love and attention she deserved for 5 weeks of her life after 5 years of brutal hell that she was put through. Lost her. Then right after that, I guess you'd say in a way, like an uncle, because he's my aunt's brother, passed away. And then right after he passed away, my boss from my job passed away in the parking lot of the store. And so I was like, all in a 2-week window. And right in that 2-week window, as all that was happening, we're losing all these people. We also end up finding out, by the way, the city sold your house and you have to be out by March 1st. What? We just signed a lease. Well, they cut the program in January in the January bill, in the January budget. So the houses are no longer a part of the program. And I was like, but we offered to buy the house. Like, why was that not given an option? So here's the thing. We got lucky because we had the RV. Now, one of the other veterans who moved into the house that was identical floor plan to ours, they had, like, when we all got into our houses, they had a little baby at the time. 4 years on, they'd had a new baby. So they have a 4-year-old now at that point, because their baby was like 3 months old when we all went and did like the house touring. And then they had a second baby. So when this whole thing went down, they didn't have another place to go. And because everything was going on in 2020, and of course, everything crap hit the fan in March, we were all told we needed to be out of our houses, our respective houses, in March. They ended up having to move their entire family, a mom, a dad, and 2 babies, a 4-year-old and a newborn, into a hotel because nothing in town was available for rental. So these people had to move into a hotel with babies right at the start of the panorama. How crappy is that? Like, we were lucky enough that we had the RV, and over the month of February, I busted my butt to get that thing at least livable, at least partly livable, so that we could at least have a space to live in. And I was able to get us booked into Davis Camp to park the RV. And so that was a hairy trip. Let me tell you what, because Barb was not ready. Like, her engine was not ready for that. We knew that she needed a complete engine overhaul. She's old. She was in 1977. She's an old girl. When we moved her up here to my grandparents' property, I honestly did not think she was going to make it up that hill. I didn't. I really didn't. Like, McCormick is that's a doozy of a hill to climb, especially with an old RV that just can barely get into second gear. Ohana crazy stuff happened in 2020. Doesn't surprise me that that was one of them. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I get so frustrated when I still think about that. I know I shouldn't, because it's been a year. It's a year on. But I still do. When Sarah and I think about it, or we go by our old neighborhood, it hurts to know that our house is sitting there, and it could have been ours. Like, if they had just let us buy it, we'd still be there, and it would have been our house. And I'd still have Barbara, because we would have done what we had planned on doing, which was do a complete overhaul of Barb before taking her and traveling with her during weekend trips and stuff. We would have been able to fully keep our savings account building up and doing the fix-ups and the repairs that we were doing little by little. And so that was the intent. But when we ended up, of course, doing the quick fixes and lived in her for 7 months out here, because we didn't even move up to the upstairs up there until April, or until August. No, July. We moved up there in July. We lived in the RV up here for a couple of months, but we lived down at Davis Camp until May. Moved up this way. So yeah, we did 6 months, almost 7 months in the RV, back and forth between being upstairs and using the RV for like cooking and all that kind of stuff, because that's what we would have to do. And so we were living out of the RV, sleeping upstairs in the apartment. And eventually, when Barb just we couldn't do a lot more things up in there, we ended up finally just relocating ourselves upstairs and buying some burner plates to be able to cook and stuff. So that was a thing. But yeah, if we hadn't have pushed her to be in use so early on, and was given the chance to really just fully overhaul her like we had intended to, she would have been tip top, ready for all kinds of travel. We had planned on doing a full engine overhaul, which would have meant she would have gotten an entire redo on her transmission and everything, because she had been driven out from Colorado back to here on a dry tranny, which screwed it up. When we got her to Davis, we realized that she had zero transmission fluid in her. Zero, which tore up the transmission. That is a stupid thing to do. And yeah, we rebuilt the entire carburetor, which was what got her finally running. So the rebuild of the carb was great. But she needed a full overhaul of her transmission. She needed the whole thing rebuilt. She needed a lot of new belts and stuff like that on the engine. Several of the pulleys needed to be replaced. But yeah, we're settled for right now. Right now, because I am in my grandparents' house. We're living here. My grandmother passed away in January. My grandpa is out in Texas with my sis. And so we're in Grandma and Grandpa's house, taking care of everything that went to the wayside. Like, he's 97. My grandparents were in their 90s, and the house has kind of fallen into a lot of disrepair. So what we're doing is we're here, and my pops is taken over ownership of the property. So what we're doing is, with Sarah and I here, we are finding and getting everything together that is either broken or has aged out that needs to be replaced. There's a lot of stuff in this house that needs some serious updating. Like, we just had all the plumbing redone, right? Because when this place was put in, they had all the older style plumbing. And now a lot of stuff is being replaced with the newer, like PVC plumbing and stuff like that, which is healthier and better for you. So we just I don't even remember. It was after Christmas, because I remember when the big water main broke. We had a couple of weeks where we had no water to the property, because we had to shut all the water down, because they had to get underneath the house and dig up all the plumbing and repipe and replumb the entire property. So we had the whole thing replumbed and repiped. And then we have an entire wall in the kitchen area that's part of the kitchen pantry that has to be completely ripped out and re-put in, which I don't think we need them to do anyway. I think what I'm just going to have them do at this point is close off that pantry because we don't need it. Like, it's not a needed space. The other side of the wall has an entire pantry. There is no reason for that little closet space to be there. And it's tiny, by the way. It's like the way it's angled, it's like pointless. Yeah, in our heat. But at the time that we had to go through that, thank goodness, when the pipe broke, it was not during the hot months. It was during the winter. So it was like in January, February. So we were A-okay. And like I said, every day we would go over to my pops's, we'd shower and everything when I got off work, and then we'd come back to the house. And our neighbors over here were amazing because she said, our hose is right here. If you guys want to fill up jugs and whatnot. So what we did is we filled up jugs and we'd use those for flushing the toilets because you want to keep the toilets flushing daily because we're on a septic. So you have to make sure water is getting in there daily. And then every week, because of course there wasn't running water on the property for 2 weeks, we had to use these funky tabs. They're like Riddicks, but you put them into your toilets. You make sure the toilet has good water in it. You leave that in there. And then when it's all dissolved and it looks like literal oatmeal in your toilet, then you flush the toilets. And it's for septics. So because this is all on septic up here, where we're at, we're not connected to anything by the city. So we're on propane, septic tanks, and well water. And so you have to maintain all that. But with Grandma and Grandpa having gotten so old, a lot of that went unmaintened. What do you mean by would you guys have a baby on the way if all of that stuff happened the way you were amending it? She would still have had, like, Sarah had gotten pregnant in November. So yeah, we would have still had a baby on the way. Nothing wrong with having a baby coming while doing house upgrades and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with that. So, I mean, there's people that have babies coming as they're in the middle of actually building an entire house. And sometimes the house doesn't even get finished and the baby already comes while they're living in a temporary rental. So no, we would still, Sarah would not have tried to have a baby last year. I should say at the beginning of 2020. But once we were here at our grandparents' property, then yeah, she was definitely had already planned and whatnot. So there's a lot that went into the planning of Penelope and when Sarah had planned it and what the due date would have been and all of that stuff. So it was not just a whim, whatnot. As you guys know, she did artificial insemination. So because Sarah went through that route, there's a lot that has to be done to do that. So it wasn't just all on a whim. You don't just walk in and say, hey, I want to buy some sperm. It doesn't work that way. There's a whole process that goes into that. So if you guys have any more questions on that, just do the research. You'll get a whole lot of information that you'll be like, whoa, that's a whole lot. It's a lot to take in. Yeah, we did too. We still do. And I, of course, wear her right here. Her ashes are in my ring. And yeah, so Sarah also has a necklace. It's a little turtle because it's her little turtle. And so she has a little necklace that has her ashes as well. But yeah, so she, as you guys know, she lost Penelope just shy of being 12 weeks. And after 2 months, 3 months, right? Because she lost her in January. Yeah. And then in April. So almost 4 months. So April, she got pregnant again with the second attempt. And lost that one, which was Oakley, in May, end of May. So she was 8 weeks along and lost Oakley. So if you guys are wondering. And so this one, she waited, of course, until August. So May, June, July, August. So once the doctor gave her the all clear to start trying again, she waited until a month after. So she gave herself some time and then tried again and has successfully. But this time with the doctor really being at her side the whole way through it. So this time around, the doctor, after doing all her blood work, looking over Penelope's blood work and Oakley's blood work, like while she was pregnant, he came to a conclusion that there was definitely something that really stood out, and that was Sarah's very low progesterone. And if you know anything about pregnancy, that is a huge hormone. You need that hormone in your body during pregnancy. And as we all know, which is something we've learned previously about Sarah's health, was that progesterone's a huge problem for Sarah. It was one of the reasons why Sarah has catamenial epilepsy, is her progesterone levels are just too low for her body. It doesn't fluctuate like it's supposed to with your cycle, like it's supposed to. So that was the biggest issue. So when she did her transfer, 5 days after her transfer was done, he started her on progesterone to get everything nice and ready. And it worked. And so these last couple of weeks, she's been doing blood work. And poor thing, she's been poked so many times. And that's what the doctor's watching for, is her progesterone level and her HCG hormone level. He's watching those numbers. And when we got the call Friday about that, it was amazing to hear, like, all that was given to her was, your numbers look fantastic, and I want you to do one more test in a week. So go in Thursday, get another test. And then when your results come in on Friday, we will schedule you for your first ultrasound. So that's kind of where we're at right now. But as of right now, her numbers are right where, like, the doctor was so happy with her numbers. He said, very happy with the results, and we'll have her go in for one more to see that next set of numbers. And once he's got those numbers, he will not test her any further after that. Once those numbers are in and he likes them, she'll have her first ultrasound. So you guys, that's what it is right there. Just get those good numbers. So as of right now, she's feeling very pregnant. She has had, like, the morning sickness kicked in probably a week ago, and it has, like, been brutal. She has been so, like, smells. Woo. Sarah's never really been a big person about smells, but this time around, like, the smells are what are getting her more than anything. She smells stuff and she's like, what is that? So yeah, she can pick up on smell like it's nobody's business. We were doing something, she smelled something, she was like, what is that? And I could not figure out what she was talking about, because my sniffer was not what I couldn't pick up what she was picking up on. But boy, could she smell it, and it was not being friendly to her. Oh no, we had never planned to raise a baby in an RV. No, we were already while in the RV. We're actually looking for a place to live. Like, we were looking for a rental, but nothing was available. If we had been living in the RV, then no, absolutely not. She would not have attempted to get pregnant when she did. Because we knew that we were going to be coming up here, like, we knew in April that we were moving up here. And so when we moved up here in May, we already knew that we were going to be taking over the property. Because we knew that there was a lot that needed to be done up here. We stayed in the RV as long as we did, because this part of, like, the house was not livable. There was a lot of stuff that needed to be done first. And so while we were up here, when we first moved up here, we knew we were going to be up here in April. Like, we knew in April that we were moving up here in May. And then we knew that we were going to be utilizing the apartment, the spare house, right? So what do we call it? The guest quarters. So we knew that we would be going between the RV and the guest house during that time. And while we were doing that, we were going to be working on the main house, which is what we did. I had to work on fixing the oven and stuff like that in here, because you couldn't even do anything. It wouldn't light. It wouldn't work. We thought it was going to be the self-igniting coil. It was not. I ended up realizing that those little stupid kangaroo rats that we get out here, they're these little bouncing mice, had gotten in through the broken cat door, because my grandparents always had barn cats up here. If you guys don't know what a barn cat is, it's like a cat that's indoor, outdoor, whatnot. It's meant for keeping rodents and stuff away, which Bella has taken upon herself to do so. She has, however, But we haven't seen Bella in a while. Mocus is still right next door, right here. She just loves this lady next door. And she comes out. We'll see her out here because they have a big dog door. And she'll sit out here by the bushes and just stare at us. And we'll be like, Moki, come here. No, she's always just been that way. That's just Moki. But Bella finally just decided she's found whatever. Now, there's two things about being up here. One, she's either found herself another place to go or has chosen to go follow Moki next door and decide to stay indoors. But she's never been an indoor cat. She's never liked just being indoors. We tried keeping her indoors, but she did not like that. She wanted to be outside. She would always, as soon as the door would open, she'd bolt. But up here, there's two big things. One, snakes. Two, coyotes. And if she's decided that she wasn't going to stay close to the inner part of the property, then she could have been picked off by a coyote without a doubt. I know that my grandparents always had cats up here because of the mouse population. And so many cats have succumbed to coyotes up here. And so hence the reason why we had locked up that cat door. We do not want Rigby or any of the Fosters getting out that cat door at all, especially not Gracie. Well, she wouldn't even be able to get out of the cat door even if she tried. Her legs just don't work that well. But if the other cats got out, I would be devastated. We do not want them out there. But Bella did us a favor when she was here. She killed off, not even kidding, every single mouse that was in the garage, in the downstairs patio area, and that had come in here. She roamed in here and she killed every mouse she could find. So she did do a really good job of mousing it out down here. But when we were down here and we were repairing stuff and we pulled the stove out and we did all that, we found that the mice had chewed through all the wiring in the ovens. So I am, yes, qualified in wire repair work. So if anybody's wondering, I am qualified. I am signed off and qualified on it. That was what I did in the military. I worked on a lot of wiring, wire repairs, electronic repair, all that kind of stuff. So I took the whole thing apart, got the schematic out for the oven, and went to work and repaired all the wiring that the dang mice chewed through. And once everything was repaired and all put together, we plugged everything in and it worked. So we got that done. We got the heating unit, air conditioning unit repaired and fixed. Because that was one thing, you couldn't be down here without the AC. Because of course, 120 degree heat, we would have died trying to live in the house without any kind of air conditioning. So that got repaired. We got the entire back room completely repaired. We also had to get all the plumbing and everything done. But yeah, we already knew we were going to be up here. And so in April, when we knew we were going to move up here, Sarah had started discussing about whether or not she was going to go about either going through in vitro, or not in vitro, going through artificial insemination, or whether or not she was going to wait and hold off and see if her relationship was going to go anywhere. And so that was a whole nother mess. We won't even get into that. When that whole thing happened, Sarah made the decision that yes, she knew that she wanted to be a mom and that she wanted to do it on her own. Like, she's not big about relationships. She never has been. She's tried to get involved. She's tried relationships. She says it just is never the right fit. It never feels right. It just always feels like she's forcing herself to do something because that's what people think is supposed to be the norm. She just wants to be able to just do what she wants on her own. And I think, you know what? She's a strong young woman for being able to stand on her own 2 feet and say, this is what I want for me. And this one I have for me. And I don't care what anybody else says. Because she's the one that's got to live that life. It's her life to choose what she does with it. And hell to the yeah, she's independent. And I love that about her. Hi, Sue. So I have literally the best kids in the world. My son's my little jerk, and that's right. He's my jerk, and it's okay. And Sarah's my strong-willed, independent young lady who can be very sassy when she wants to be. And, but she stands on her own. And like I said, when we discussed things and we decided to tear all those videos down, it was because after a long discussion, she came to a decision that she was absolutely sick and tired of people only thinking of her as someone with epilepsy. And she got sick of it. She said, I don't want them up anymore. I don't want people associating me that way anymore. I'm tired of it. And so we took them all down. So if anybody's going, hey, what happened? It's because we did it. We took them all down. So yes, YouTube did not delete all of our videos. We did that. We took down, we're the ones who took down a massive chunk of videos. A lot. Like, I think I took well over 200 videos down. So if you guys are wondering, yes, that was me. I removed them. No need to panic. So yeah, Sarah would have chosen to still have a baby when she did. And getting pregnant back in November, that was a choice she still would have made. But we had already known we weren't going to be in the RV at the time. So, and honestly, even if we had been living in an RV, I know, right? They are amazing, right, Sue? I don't know about me being amazing. I mean, I'm okay, but my kids are amazing. But even if we were still living in the RV, I think we would have done okay. If she chose to have a little person. Now, if our RV was, meant for long-term living, but our RV was just not. So I think had we been able to stay in our house and repair the RV at the pace we wanted to, so that it could have all been done correctly, like how Charles and Allie spent over a year, fixing up their entire RV that they bought. And their RV was in pretty good shape when they bought it. Barb was not in good shape when we bought her. She was in desperate need of a lot of work. And we knew that when I bought it. That's why we had drawn up a plan for how long it was going to take. And I gave it 18 months to get her fixed. We had to try to take 18 months of work and pick all the important pieces and shove them into a 30-day window. It didn't work. Right? Oh my gosh, Tiffy, I hear you there. Okay, here's another one. You guys, talking about voice to text. So I am using Microsoft, right? Office, Word, Microsoft Word, not Office, Microsoft Word for doing my book. By the way, I've got quite a bit done. I need to do some more. And I tried to do the dictation so that it would just write it out, right? No, absolutely not. I thought I'd be smart, right? I was like, well, I drive 2 hours to work. So what I want to do is just set the laptop up in the passenger seat and turn on dictation for the app or for the program, right? For the Windows, Microsoft Word, Word, and just dictate it while I'm driving, right? So that when I got to work, I could go back through and just go through and do the edit, put proper punctuation, stuff like that in. So I drove for 2 hours dictating my book that I'm writing. Just telling the story as it flowed from my head. I got to work. Well, yeah. So it took me 6 hours to fix the disaster that was dictation on Microsoft Word. It was bad. It was so bad. I started trying to read it and I'm like, what? This is not what I said. And it was an absolute utter disaster of like 30 pages of it picked up, like, of course, the ums and stuff like that, when you're talking. And I had to go through and delete all the ums and the pauses. When I would pause, the dictation would pause, and then it would when I'd say restart dictation, and it would type restart dictation. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's not supposed to type those. It's not supposed to type commands. And it would type out, like when I would say period, which you're supposed to say because that's what's programmed into it, to say period, and it would put a period and then start the next sentence. It wouldn't put the period. It would put the word period. But if I paused, then it would add a period where a period didn't need to be. I was like, oh, wow. So yeah, it was, I've learned very quickly that dictation on Microsoft Word is slightly a disaster unless you're sitting straight in front of it and dictating while you're watching it dictate, which is pointless because the point of dictation is to be able to just talk into the recorder and let it record you out and it put it down on paper so that when you look back at it, you can edit through and properly adjust things. But it was a disaster and it was so funny. Hi, Caitlin. Yeah, it was funny. I didn't expect it to be so funny, but it was pretty funny. So yeah, but I might not, you guys, I don't know if I probably won't even leave this chat up. It'll probably end up coming down because this is like a 2-hour live stream. Ain't nobody going to watch a 2-hour live stream, which I don't blame them. But I did finally figure out how to turn on in-stream chat, right? So like when this is done and if it uploads, right, if it comes up to upload, the chat will come up at the same time as the video. So people will actually see what the conversation was versus none of this chat showing up in my old live videos. I was like, why is the chat not there? Because there's a button for that. So yeah, so now when people come in to watch the live streams after they've been done, like once we end it, the chat will show up so people can see what we all are talking about. But yeah, so you guys, yeah, Sarah's doing pretty good right now. I think I think she's asleep. I don't know if she fell back to sleep or if she's awake or whatnot, but yeah. So Taylor's at work, if anybody's wondering. He works, what does he work? Friday through Tuesday, 3 to 11:30, 3:30 to 11:30. And then he has Wednesday, Thursday off. I have Thursday, Friday, Saturday off. So we have only Thursday off together. So, but this week he actually ended up spending with his best friend in the entire world, Kai, who you guys have seen in our videos before. Kai is home visiting right now before heading to Washington for his new post with the military, because he's in the Army. He went in a month before Taylor went in. He just re-enlisted. So he's just did his re-enlistment, which marks 4 years. It's crazy to think he's been in for 4 years already. Insane. So yeah, he went in before Taylor, and so proud of that kid. He's such a good, strong kid. So he just signed for his re-enlistment and absolutely proud of him. So he'll be stationing in Washington. So he's happy about that. He's like, I'm so happy. But yeah, so Taylor got to spend the time with him while he's here on leave while they're doing his changeover from one duty station to the next. Because he's been over in Kuwait or Iraq. Was he in Iraq? Yeah, he was in Iraq. So he just got back and now he will be being stateside. So that's cool. So he spent his first few years in the military overseas and now he's back and getting to pick his duty station. So he chose to go to Washington. I think that that's awesome. But yeah, so for right now, you guys, we're here in my grandparents' house and we're going to be getting this place fixed up for them. Well, for my pops, because grandpa will never get to come back here. He's 97 years old, you guys. He won't be living here. He can't live on his own anymore. He really does require care. So he won't be able to live here. But we can get this house in good order. And this way, once we find our home that we want to buy, this can go up and make some kind of profit into the, somebody can live up here. More than likely somebody older, because not very many young people are going to live up here, like at all. There's nothing up here. So if you're young and want to be able to get into town and stuff, this is not the place to do it. Aw, thank you. Thank you, Joseph. So yeah, this would definitely probably rent out to somebody older, because they like older people like the quieter community up here. There's mostly older couples up here. Not like very, very few people up here are young that have kids. Like I don't think there's any children up anywhere on this area. You'd have to get down onto like McCormick, the big hill before you start going to where there's children. All back here on this side, up in the mountain, this all is an older community. So yeah, but yeah, we got to get it done so that it can be ready for a rental. But there's also still a lot of things we got to do for us personally. So I told my pops, I said, I may not be able to get everything done here before we decide to finally move out of the property. So if we move out of the property and there's a lot of stuff that's not finished, he's going to have to do those things before he can rent it. But I really do think we need to tear all this tile out. This tile is one, several of them are just not properly set. So they're offset. So they're like one, a tripping hazard. Two, it's an eyesore. You guys, it is so poorly done. And a lot of this, the grouting is so worn out and down that you've got these gaps in the tiles. And it just should be taken out. Like, honestly, it needs to all be pulled out. Go back to the original flooring that's in here. And then tear out the original flooring and put something worthwhile in here. Some hardwood. Hardwood would be the best option. The bathrooms do a beautiful herringbone tile pattern in there. It would look really good in both bathrooms. The what do you call that? The guest bathroom, hall bathroom, that could really use a new shower stall. Like it really could use a new one. That thing is so ancient. And so is the one in this bathroom, the walk-in shower stall. They really could use new ones in there. I think that wall between the tub and the tub and the shower in here should be knocked out and put in one of those like glass spacings, so just modernize it so it looks beautiful. The tub in there's fine. You don't even need to worry about the tub in there. You could do a nicer one, but I don't think you need to. I think this one is beautifully the way it is. But I think the one in the hall would do great if it was a bathtub shower combo instead of just a big walk-in shower. It would be nice to have the option to have a tub in that bathroom for if you do have children. But it would mean, oh, okay. Yeah, no, you're fine. You're absolutely fine. But yeah, you're fine. Don't worry about it. But yeah, so for now, I'm just like relaxing. I'm going to just not touch anything today. Because like I said, there's so much to do. I just got super overwhelmed earlier and started to get like panicky, anxious. And I was just like, I don't even know what to do. I don't even know where to start. There's so much to do. And I got panicky. I think the first thing first right now is just get our little living space done. I'll get that done next weekend. And then one of the other big things we need to get done is we got to get those boys adopted. It is, I'm not even kidding you guys, it is so hard to find homes for black cats. And it sucks. But that's the reason why black cats, like why we still have Binks. It takes forever. The rest of Binks's litter got adopted. No problem. 2 of his litter mates did pass away from what they call wet coat, like it's a wet styled COVID. It's like a pneumonia in cats. And it is passed from mom to kitten during delivery. So 2 of them passed away from that. The other cats were tested. None of them had it. So we had to actually keep Binks separated from Rigby. Several of the kittens had to be separated from Rigby to wait until they got their test results back. And they were fine. And then the two that like Binks and the other two that survived have all tested negative for it, so it was good. But the other two did get adopted, but then again, they were little tabbies, little stripy tabby cats, and they are, sorry to say, but black cats are just very hard to find homes for. Right now, the shelters here have so many black cats, it's ridiculous. And here's going to be the kicker. In October, all black cat adoptions will cease. You will not be allowed to adopt a black cat out here in October. There's a reason for that. A lot of people in October will get black cats, right? Because it's Halloween. Woo! They will do a huge, like, people will start adopting black cats or getting black cats or whatever. In November, all these little black kittens in November that were adopted will all be put back into shelters because people will realize that cats are work and kittens are destructive. They just are. Kittens are destructive. If you have kittens, be prepared for some destruction. Unless you are absolutely prepared, you will have, if you are not a prepared person, you will have chewed wires, torn up blinds, ripped up curtains, probably destroyed if you have cloth furniture. If you have leather furniture, forget about it. You're an idiot if you have leather furniture and cats. Don't do it. I've done it. Don't do it. So, yeah, it's not a good combo. Their nails get into everything. And if you are someone who thinks that you want to get a cat, but you'll get it declawed, don't get a cat, because then you're an asshole. Because how would you like your fingers cut off? Just don't do it. So, and that's the problem, is a lot of people will adopt or think, oh, I can get a black kitty for Halloween. Don't. So out here, all month of October, black cat adoptions will be locked up. You won't be able to do it. So we have from next week, with Sevi, but as of right now, Binks is up for adoption. He's already on the site. He's already posted. He's been posted for a long freaking time, but his updated post is done. Severus will go up next week after his neuter, because he gets neutered this Friday. Yeah, we have massive towers with scratchers on it now, but if you're not someone who's prepared, cats, even with a tower, will try to scratch furniture. You have to be vigilant and get them when they're younger to go after a tower. If you teach them towers are their scratchy posts, you have no problem. Yep. Kittens are absolutely like having a toddler. Yeah, your cousin's cat has clawed her cloth bedroom set. Yes. And that's the thing, is if you are not a prepared person before you even think of getting a cat, do your research, first of all. Secondly, you need to have everything that cat is going to need, and you need to be patient, especially if you decide to adopt an older cat and you don't know their history or their background. Like, that's something that I think people should do, is adopt older cats. When you first get an older cat, and people get so stupid about this. I don't know why people get so stupid about this. You need to, any cat, whether it's a kitten or anything, you need to restrict their area of the house until they become accustomed to the house. So in the beginning, keep them in a bathroom, or a single room. Pick a room that you're going to kind of confine them to, so that you can start by teaching litter box usage, knowing where their litter box is. Teach them what furniture is their furniture. So like cat towers, stuff like that. We have a full cat room here. It has cat towers in it. It's got litter boxes. It's got everything in there that they need as cats. So their food bowls, their big water container, everything is there. So once they learn that those are their used items, right? So they'll scratch it, whatever. When we open the door and let them run around for the day, when they feel like they need to scratch something, they go running for their cat tower. They go for their scratchy posts. They know where their litter box is. They know where their food is. It's her stepdaughter's cat. Hollister. Oh, he rules her house. Exactly. Yeah, that's Rigby. Rigby rules the house. He's Mr. Bossy Pants. I love that Gracie is just crashed out right now. I think her medicine kicked in and she's finally sleeping. But yeah, a lot of people just don't take into consideration like making sure that all wires are covered and properly like insulated so that the cats can't chew those up. If you have like if you're going to plug your cell phone in or whatever, don't leave the cord where the animal can get to it. Make sure that it's like put away. I made the mistake the first night of when we got Sevi here. He laid in my room with me and he was sleeping on my chair with me. Well, he destroyed my cell phone charger, my charging cable, because I had it plugged in and then draped over the chair. Well, I didn't even think about it when I did it. I'm usually really good about that because of Rigby, but I didn't even think about it because I had put Rigby in the other room. I just threw the cable over. He chewed the smithereens out of my cable. Different smells, sounds, but especially if you already have a cat, separate each cat. Exactly like when we got Sevi here, we had to make sure they were separate. So I had him in my room, in the bathroom here, and then the cat's in the cat room. Then we would bring, like we had Rigby come in for a little bit just to get them to meet. Well, not Rigby and him kept hissing at it. Well, he didn't, but Rigby kept hissing at him. And then we brought Gracie in, and the two of them, like they hissed at each other for a couple of hours. But then once that kind of like she kind of established like what is wrong, Tiffany? Okay, Tiffy, I'm sorry. What happened? Was there something on here? I'm sorry that you're getting frustrated. What happened, hon? So with we brought Gracie in, and they kind of had a little bit of a moment, and then the two of them just hit it off and ended up becoming like best little buddies. And so I thought it was really good because it gave him some company in here while the boys were in there. And then now that everybody's kind of calmed down and whatnot, we brought Sevi into the room with the boys. And him and Rigby at first still just, Rigby, I shouldn't say, Sevi could care less. He's just a kitten. He just wants friends. But Rigby kept hissing. And then Sevi wanted to play with Rigby. Rigby didn't like that too much, so Binks went after Sevi. Well, now they're fine. They had their big scuffle, and now they're all chill. But sometimes you just have to kind of be there, watch them, let them kind of do their thing. Would you want to show them that one? Gosh, that line is so dark. So here's the test Sarah took. You guys. Look at how dark that line is. Holy cow. So, yeah, there's her test. There you go. That's the one she took today, by the way. That's the one she took earlier today. Yeah. But, yeah, the congestion, pregnancy congestion over here, yeah, is kicking Sarah's booty. I know, babes. Hang in there, honey. Hang in there. It's all for that little growing bean.
I did take my progesterone.
Good girl. But so yeah, so for now, like I said, Binks is up for adoption, and then Sevi goes up next week after his neuter this Friday, so he'll be up next week. So I don't mean like when I say next week, because officially next week starts tomorrow, but the week after. So we'll say the week after, because this coming Friday he gets neutered, and then the following Monday he'll be up on the site, ready for adoption. And then Gracie goes in 2 weeks. Hi, baby. Is the medicine kicking your booty? Yeah. But Gracie goes back in 2 weeks to see the vet and make a decision about what we're going to do with that left hip, that left leg. We'll see. We won't know until the vet does a full evaluation now that she is. What not? Did it come out really dark again? Oh, my God. So that's the one she just did, you guys.
Yes.
Bam, 2 lines. They said, oh, hey, Sarah. Hi, beautiful girl. That little meow that she does is so funny. She's doing so good with her walking.
You gotta come over here. I can't bend that part. like her tummy.
Your pregnant sister can't bend over that far. She's like, no, I just want to lay down. Her medicine's kicking her butt right now.
Don't doubt it.
She's like, yeah. She was not happy with me when I gave it to her this morning. She was like, And now she knows what the syringes are when I come in, and she's like, absolutely not. I'm hiding. And I'm like, you can't really hide, honey. The thing goes open both sides. So your head hurts. Your vision is not pregnant. And I want to go back to my book and listen and give my eyes a break. Okay. You bet. You bet.
Figure out where you want to put the crib.
Yeah, it's going to go right here.
Yeah, but you got to bring all
I know, that's what I already said. I got to take all this and I got to move all that. Yeah, there's just too much to do in here, you guys. Yes, he did. He got here and then I was in the bath and he wanted the toolkit so he can fix his handlebars on his bike.
You know, I've eaten 0 things today.
Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, got lots of stuff still to do. And I'm like overwhelmed with everything that needs to be done. The biggest thing right now is I need to get that stupid air conditioner quieted down. I got to call somebody out here to get that done and find out what we can do to get them to come in and do like the duct work, for the, I'm going to make the thing you wanted for the little clay guys, for the babies. I'm going to make their little blinky things, the little pouches. And then the rest of it, I'm going to try to make you, I think I'm going to make you a Moby wrap style thing with this for the baby. No, not yet. She's going to go do we're going to go do her permit. She has to get a permit first here because she's got to have a permit for 6 months of driving before she can go for her license. But we want to get a different car first. Before she said, she does not want to try to learn to drive that stick shift. If it was if it was a newer model stick shift, it would not be a problem. That car it's old. My car is old and it's a jerk. It is. Oh yeah. It is a jerk of a drive. Let me tell you what is the jankiest car when it comes to shifting. Yeah, she has to have a permit, a learner's permit in Arizona. You got to have your learner's permit for 6 months before you can get your license. They have to see that you have been driving for with a licensed driver for 6 months. No. It doesn't matter how old you are. They prefer that in the state of Arizona you do 6 months of learner's permit. So that's what she's going to do. But we're not, like she says, she's not in any rush right now because of the fact that we need a different car. We want to get an automatic vehicle that she can drive. That way she's not worried about she's not worried about like this, like the stick shift. Right. That I hate when she steps like that because that leg bends funky. Oh my goodness. Do you guys hear Gracie? Do you hear her in the background? She's talking. Yeah, it's different in like Canada. So they do the same thing, I think, like in the UK too, where you have to do like a certain amount of driving, like road driving, before you can do your licensing test. She said no. She keeps trying to climb out, which is
What do you want?
She wants out of there is what she wants. But like the vet said, she cannot be out. She has to stay restricted. So not me wanting her to do that. It's the vet. If it was up to me, I'd just let her finally roam again, but absolutely not right now. Yeah. I'm sorry, but her noise that she keeps doing is killing me. That little noise that she makes is so funny. Does it take years in Canada? Yeah.
You got medicine all over your face.
Yeah, she does. She was not happy with me for giving it to her.
Oh, I know. Earlier, I woke up to her going.
Nope, you're gonna get stuck again, Grace.
I was like, was that my mom?
Nope, that was her.
And then I heard you talking, and I was like, that's Tracy.
Yeah. So she wants to just run around, you guys, but because she's right smack at the start of this recovery, the vet was like, absolutely not. She needs to stay very confined. the space we've given her, he still feels is a little too much space. But because she has to be able to get in and out of a litter box, we have to make sure. Oh, maybe a year. Yeah. So she needs to have at least some space between the litter box, her bed. She does throw litter. So we don't want her having litter in her bed or in her food or water. So we kind of had to give her the bigger opening. If it was up to him, he would just have her have a litter box and a bed. So yeah. But she's such a sweet little girl. Her judges. Oh yeah, I know. You knew I was talking about you, huh? You're such a sweet girl. Oh, look at you stretching while standing. Good girl. Just watching her use her leg again and watching her walk blows my mind. Like, you guys, we really thought for sure that she was going to be permanently crippled because she just was not standing up on her legs at all. So, hamster. You hamster? What do you mean, you hamster? Huh? I'm like, wait, what? I know, right? Yeah, we need to figure out where to put Khaleesi. We got to figure out a spot for Khaleesi. I might just use that table for you to put Khaleesi on.
Where?
In that bigger area back there where we had her the first time. In the family room.
We have to take the other armchair.
Sorry, inside joke? Oh. Huh?
We have to take the other armchair out of the house. We don't have anywhere to put it. And he's got to understand that.
Well, I'm going to vacuum it really, really good and then figure out what to do with it because I know he's not going to put grandma's chair outside. So we may have to take it upstairs into the apartment. But even if Taylor doesn't like it, like I told Taylor, he's got to find himself an apartment. Yeah, I know. You guys are probably going to think I'm an absolute jackass for that. But
No.
As of right now, Taylor really does need to find himself a place because we're going to be looking for something else. And
he is stressful.
Well, no, that's not what I'm worried about. Right now, what we
I'm
need to do
worried
is
about that.
grandma and grandpa's stuff that is down here needs to go up into that area so that it can all be locked up. And then the lower part down here gets completely done. So when Pops goes to rent this place out, the upstairs area, that's going to be completely like blocked off so that people won't go up there. It'll be a completely locked up section. And then the house will be gated off from the wood shop forward so that the house and the forward part of the property will be to the renter. The rest of the back side of the property will be gated off, separated from anybody accessing it except for Pop.
I have an idea. For the baby's nursery. Is that every month of their milestone, like every time they turn like a month or 2 months, I'm gonna Polaroid picture them and then hang them up on like these little clips on their
Yeah, you can
So
do
that
that.
way
That'd be
we have-
really cute. Oh yeah,
Their nursery, it'll go with their nursery. It's like the aesthetic thing.
right. And
I
then
just have to put it
once we
up
pick
higher
out
on the
once you've
wall.
got your whole aesthetic for your nursery, you can pick out sheets that will go on this to tie it all together.
I have to find like white sheets or something, or like cream sheets. 'cause
Just
that's-
whatever's going to tie into the nursery. We get the whole nursery done first and then color,
I gotta
like
paint
find what's going to
that
fit.
room.
Yeah. Because right now, as it stands, we're planning on staying here for a while to get everything done here because there's so much we can do with this property.
it's
but the
not
biggest
ours,
thing-
he's not gonna sell
Yeah,
it to
the
us.
biggest thing is going to be, oh no, I didn't expect him to. The biggest thing is going to be getting these floors. These floors have to get done. Shavings, so we use paper. Oh, hamster shavings. He had a cone on. Oh, okay, I get it. I was like, what? But yeah, no. Gracie ended up to the point where she had to be on puppy pads because of she couldn't get into a litter box or anything. So we had to maintain her using puppy pads. Oh, careful, Lovey. I don't like when she steps on that left leg. And she does so rely on it a lot instead of just hopping with the right. But she does have hip dysplasia in the right one. So hopping she's going to need some serious rehab type stuff to strengthen. She's going to need physical therapy to strengthen that right hip. She's yelling at Sarah.
Go lay down.
Uh-oh, you messed up on dinner, so you ordered pizza?
Yeah, whatever you could have.
Okay.
I said something about the sausage.
I know. I didn't know what I was going to make. I thought I was going to do like a rice and sausage thing with egg, but I don't know yet with fried egg. So you're not even going to like that sausage anyway. It's that really spicy stuff. I made the big old thing of soup. I was going to also do soup, if nothing else. Yeah, see, she couldn't even do that. She was literally having to drag herself. But now she's back to using a litter box again. So that's a huge thing. When she used the litter box yesterday, I was like, woo! She's up and walking and using the litter box. I don't know how they're going to do this. If she has such bad hip dysplasia in her right hip, I don't know how taking her left leg will work, because if she can't even bounce regularly, like hop regularly on that right one, she's never going to be able to accommodate losing her left leg. Oh man, we love using our air fryer. Sarah and I both love using the air fryer. I know. Yeah, she has a walk-in litter box, but it was one of those things where she couldn't even, like, she was literally having to drag her back into wherever she went because she couldn't stand up at all because of the inflammation in her hip. You're such a good girl, Gracie. I know you're such a good girl. Yeah, she knows it too. So I'm going to probably get off here now. Figure out what we're doing for dinner. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I have to figure out something. No, it's not about that. She has hip dysplasia in the right side. So her right hip area is where when you have hip dysplasia, it's just that the socket and the ball area just don't sit correctly. And so over time, the tendons and the ligaments, everything that hold that all in place, become too loose. And so it doesn't like to stay in the socket. And so it becomes to a point where the inflammation, the swelling, whatnot, cause issues with being able to walk. So the shape of her legs, so instead of her legs coming out at her hips here, they start to do this. And so then the legs will cross each other when they try to walk, right? So then they have to because the legs start to tilt this way. So that's what's been happening on her right side. So her leg is starting to set like inward like this. So when she goes to step, it forces that to pop out of socket. So right now it's a matter of strengthening that. But her left side, even though she has hip dysplasia in her hips, the left side, when she got injured by the jerk that stomped on her when she was an 8-week-old kitten, shattered her pelvis on that side. So her pelvis on her left side shattered, which then in turn also broke what do they call that? What is that? Your femur bone of the back hip. So she had that area broken. So because of all the damage that was done to that left leg, when she tries to walk it, she has a severe limp to that side. She can't bear weight on it as well as she should be able to. So she severely limps on it. But because of the hip dysplasia, the limp only added to causing more and more swelling. And because she was trying to constantly walk and whatnot, when she jumped off the cat tower and landed, it dislocated both hips when she landed. So it popped both hips out of socket. We were able to get her hips back into socket, but it was so swollen that she couldn't bear any weight. Every time she tried to stand up, it just kept popping out, popping back in, popping out, popping out. She just finally stopped walking on it. So the vet said because of that swelling and the pain she was in, she just chose not to stand on them. Yeah, it was very bad. When she was found at 8 weeks old, having been stomped on, she had multiple organs ruptured. She needed like a massive surgery. She was in the care of Donna from Saint, and they cut Gracie open from here all the way to her girly parts. Opened her all the way up, her whole chest, her abdomen, everything was completely opened up. and she had to have multiple things corrected and repaired on the inside of her. One of those also being having to reset her her pelvis and everything, and then she was casted and left to sit there. Miss Gracie, you need to get down. Come on. You can't try to climb out. She wants out of there so bad. Grace. Come on. I know. You're just not happy. I know, baby. But you got to stay restricted. We got to get those hips nice and healed. So the people that did that to her, we don't know who it was. They left her in a trash bag with spaghetti sauce and coffee grounds on her. She had been stomped on. I think they thought she would be dead by the time the animal hospital had opened. But what happened was when the animal hospital opened, one of the girls that unlocks the doors and stuff came and picked up the bag because it was just a trash bag. When she picked up the trash bag, Gracie screamed in pain from inside the bag. And that's how they discovered her in severe shape. So Donna was the first person from Saint that was called, and she went out, signed everything up for Gracie to be a part of Saint, went ahead and claimed her as a Saint cat. And then they did a fundraiser, which raised all the funds for the major surgery she required right at the start to save her life. She had some severe internal bleeding. She was right on the cusp, you guys, and just a little 8-week-old kitten. And she's a little spitfire because even after surgery, and she wanted to run, couldn't. She was in a lower body cast. She wanted to go. Nothing. She didn't want anything holding her down. So she was a little fighter right from the start. And then once she was out of her cast and still had she had a massive limp. That was going to be something that was never going to go away, which tagged her as a ground cat, which go ahead and do some more research on that if you guys want to. It's a really unique thing to deal with when you have a cat. Cats love to climb. Cats love to be up high. She is actually, she's on the cover of this thing, but hold on, I'll show you guys. I can't turn the whole computer around, otherwise I would, but I'll show you guys what she looks like. But let's see here. This was her at the vet hospital. So there's Miss Grace. And she's such a cutie. There you go. There's that face. There's Miss Gracie. And then I'll show you. She's right here next to me. So I'll show you guys, this is her little, this is the cover photo that I did on the stream right now. So this is her little area that she's in. As you can see, she's hiding in her thing right there. So that's what she's doing right now. And then I do have a little video I took of her to show the vet how she's doing. Let's turn this up. And this is her now. After not being able to walk for over 2 weeks, she's back on her feet.
Show her, look at me, I'm walking on both legs. Yeah.
So as you guys can see, this is her. She's a talker.
Good? Yeah, look at you walking on her. Yeah. Come on, you can get her working. Good girl. Good girl.
So that's my baby Gracie.
Yeah.
She's doing good. As you can see, she got her litter box there. I dump it, of course, multiple times a day. She had just gone to the potty. So I was super excited. So I filmed her because she had just used the litter box. So right at the start of that, I was like, I got to send this so that the vet can see as she's using the litter box. Absolutely. Absolutely, Tiffy. I thought you could pick her up. What do you mean? Oh, no, I can't. It's so painful for her to be lifted. I don't do that to her. Yeah, no, because you have to remember her hips are in a lot of pain. So picking her up and trying to brace her back end, she's not happy with. So I won't do that to her. So yeah, we don't pick her up unless we absolutely have to. So if I need to pick her up, it's usually if I'm going to be picking her up to put her in her crate to go to the vet or whatnot. But yeah, I will not lift her unless absolutely necessary, because it's, as you can see from that with the way she walks, her hips are very sore. So yeah, I won't do that to her. But if you guys want to know what Binks looks like, this is Binks all grown up now. He's ready for adoption. So there him is. And then let's see if I have the one of Severus. Where's that Severus photo? So you guys can see what Sevy looks like. Here's Gracie with Severus. And I love this picture because he absolutely adores her. But that's Severus with Gracie. So that's Sevy and Gracie. She's a year old, almost a year old in next month. And he is 7 months. Here's that face. Oh yeah, you guys have to see this face. This face of his he is such a handsome cat. Hopefully, and like I said, he's just a baby. He's going to go get neutered on Friday. Hopefully somebody will want him. You want Binks? Yeah, he is. He needs to be an only cat. He does have issues with severe jealousy. He does not like it if you pay attention to any of the other cats. So if you're in the room with them or out here in the main house, if the cats are just out there and whatever, he doesn't care. But if you try to pet one of them or love on like anybody else, he will start a fight. But if you try to pet him, he doesn't want you to. He only wants you to pet him when he wants you to. You can't have pets where you live. Yeah. So he, with his adoption forms, he's written up as needing to be an only cat. He can be around dogs, no problem. But around other cats, he just picks fights. He's just not, like, he gets along fine with Rigby and stuff, but every now and again, he kind of goes off, and next thing you know, he's in a big scuffle. And Rigby's not a fighter. Rigby just doesn't defend himself. And he usually gets himself the snot beat out of him by Binks. So he needs to be an only cat. He has a big jealousy issue, and he doesn't like to be not the center of attention when attention's being given. So yeah, but he doesn't want you to pet him though, which is really funny, because like he'll come over and let you know when he wants to be paid attention to. But if you try to come over and like give him scratches, he'll swat at you, whatnot. He's like, no. I'll come tell you when I want love. So if like he swats at you and you're like, fine. And you go over and you're like, well, come here, Rigby, and I'll love on Rigby. He does. It's his personality. He's always been that way, even since a little bitty baby. He doesn't want to be touched or held, but he'll come over and let you know when he wants attention. But if you pay attention to anybody else in between that, he gets very, very jealous and whatnot. So he would just make a better independent cat, like by himself. You kind of learn the characters of each of these pets and these animals as you foster and as you learn them and their personalities. And you can when you get ready to set them up for their adoption day and whatnot, you know how to say, this is what this animal would be best suited for. Even though he does live with other cats and he has dogs in the house, he does fine with the dogs, never has an issue with the dogs, doesn't even care that the dogs exist. But he will target the other cats when he's having a moment. Yeah, he has his mind made up. He knows exactly what he wants, and he would make great independent pet. Like, you can have dogs, but if he's going to be a cat in the home, he needs to be the only cat in the home. And he will do just fine. And then I think with Severus needs to have a cat partner. He has to have a cat that's going to be his buddy, because he really, really relies on having a kitty partner. He really does. Yeah, they do, don't they? You know, the funniest part is if you put Binks and Severus next to each other, it's so clear that they are, like, you can tell them apart at a glance. They're the same, like, height-wise, they're the same. But Binks is really long, like a long boy. He's long and skinny. He's a very like trim looking cat, very sleek and long skinny tail, long skinny legs. His body is very extended. And then you've got Severus, and Severus has got these big, massive cheeks. He got thickum boy legs. He's a real solid body structure. His tail is like that. This cat is bulky, right? Like he is, like we had, and Binks may have actually bulked up, but we had them neutered before they went through that change, whereas Severus is completely intact. And so he is now tomcatting, which is where he's coming into his full tomcat, which is an unneutered male. So it's called a tom. Because he is unneutered, he is now in tom form. So he has the big, swollen, massive testosterone cheeks, thick body structure. So they're so easy to tell apart.
Mama,
What, baby?
I need your help.
What happened?
My game won't start.
Uh-oh. What do you mean? What game? On the Xbox?
No, on the computer, The Sims, it says that it cannot start because the required game data is missing or damaged.
Oh no, you're gonna have to reload it again. You're gonna have to go in and reinstall it.
I don't know how to do that.
Hold on. All right, I'm gonna wrap this up then. All right, I'm gonna go help Sarah out. So it's probably gonna take a hot minute because every time we try to deal with The Sims, it does this. So you guys are fantastic. And I'm gonna call it a night right here. I'm gonna go help her and we're gonna go eat some food. But you guys are amazing. And thanks for hanging around. Bye.